I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to talk to you about flow state. I got excited about it last night, just thinking about that. I'm going to talk about beauty. The importance of that. I'm going to talk about the importance of getting outside. And so I have my topics I'm going to discuss, and we're going to just get going. How you doing today? This is an open chat. I want to listen to what you have to say. Put any questions you have on this. This is your opportunity to talk about anything wellness with me, and moving forward. So I want to talk to you about some things that are extremely important to me. I was thinking about this last night. The importance of. I mean, I had a hard time like going to sleep last night. I started thinking about flow state and the importance of that. And I want to know what that is. What is it that a flow state really does for you? And so the mantra that I have here for us to focus on is I flow in life without effort. I flow in life without effort. Now, the flow state was brought to us by a man named Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He's not originally from here, from the United States, believe it or not. There's a lot of, it's like all consonants in his name. But a brilliant man who talks about, who studied the flow state intensively, and how people can achieve like extremely deep work, going further than they ever could before with a lot less effort, and following their beauty, following their mastery into a thing without effort. So this is me just being here on the microphone and just trying to find my flow here too. So why I was excited, what was really important to me is that flow state really brings a lot of energy to my life. We often talk about metabolism, and it can mean more than just bringing in food and oxygen to our life. And all of this metabolism, this is all about the harnessing of energy. And a flow state is to harness those things that you love doing and find yourself moving without effort. So an example of what flow state was for me and when I really felt it the most, and why I couldn't sleep last night, because I started thinking of music inside of my head and my time playing records. My brother Ta, who helped teach me playing vinyl records, mixing one record to another, these old dance records I would listen to and play. And it took a lot in order to learn how to play and to flow from one record to another. First of all, when you very first start, you're very clunky when you're starting to do something that's technical. So you can't really necessarily get in a flow state right away with something that you're just learning. And I figured that out. And what was interesting about learning to play records and to beat match was the biggest thing for me. When Tom was teaching me, he had a hard time explaining in words how to match the beats per minute with one record to another record. And again, this was all done analog on records, not on Tractor or Serato, or all these digital displays where you can automatically beat match with the push of a button. Here you had to really listen with your ears, and then you had to really feel it inside of your chest. So it was a long process to play a record, and then I'm on the mixer here, and then I'm listening in my headphones to this other record as this first record is playing out to a crowd or out to people. And so I'm listening to this other record, and I'm trying to match the beat of this record in my ear to this record before I bring it in to where everybody hears the two records playing together. And it's hard to say, okay, when this beat is before this beat, that's when you need to slow it down. So you have to continually play with the adjustments on the turntable. You have to speed it up. You turn the turntable up, or you can bring the turntable down, speeding up and slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. And you're trying to find a match in between what you're listening to on your headphones and the other record. And it's extremely difficult to explain to somebody with the English language on how to exactly do that. It's something you have to feel. So in order to really feel it, it takes immense concentration, and that concentration is what's going to get you into the flow state. And no amount of effort or white knuckling it, making it work, is going to get you into that flow state. The wonderful thing about music is that it's something that you feel. It's beyond language. So when I was beginning to allow myself to relax, breathing, feeling the music, and moving with the beat, I could sense an order in between one record and the other record, and I'm trying to match that. And the only way that you can match it with a record player is you have to go way beyond. You have to slow it way beyond what you know is slow on this record, and then you have to speed it up. So it's like you're fumbling around finding your way with negative feedback. You got to go all the way to one direction to notice how far off or how fast you are, and then all the way back the other way to find out how slow you are, and then you slowly tune it in. This is a lot like on an FM dial on an old radio station. So if you make big moves on your radio dial, and then you hear a station you like, oh, you went too far, you got to bring it back, and it gets a little fuzzy. Then you go the other way, and then the other way, and then you zero in on it. Well, this can take months when you're doing it with a record player. And I remember the time when I actually hit it. It's all so technical. You're speeding up the records. You're slowing them down. You're moving. You're very technical. You're very with it. And it's just when your body begins to know, it clicks. And I remember when I very first had it click, I was playing for some people, and it sounds like shoes in the dryer, ka-boom, 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 boom, whenever you'd mix a song into another song. And it just takes people out of it, out of a flow, out of a feeling. And people ended up leaving. But I remember when people were leaving the last time I was playing, as they were walking out the door, it finally snapped for me. And I got it. And as they were leaving out the door, I'm like, hey guys, just so you know, I got it. And they all kind of turned toward me and say, oh, yeah, cool, dude. Good job. And then from that moment on, I began to make a relationship with that process. And that was me. And my real introduction to a flow state. Now, we can have this flow state each and every day with just immense concentration on the details. And the thing is, if you do it long enough, then it's not going to be a problem for you, like chopping vegetables, playing a musical instrument, or drawing, something that takes some technical skill. What is something that you do that takes technical skill that you do without even thinking about it? But you shut off the entire world around you. You know, what is that for you? I'd like to know. Leave it in the comments. Type in flow state. You know, when have you felt flow inside of your life? Is it when you're speaking, when you're telling a story, and it just everything is clicking? And maybe it's like hitting the sweet spot when you're playing baseball, and you hit that sweet spot of the bat, and it's like effortless. It's like you're doing something extremely technical that's just without effort. And there's something about seeing through something so difficult effortlessly that brings up more meaning and magic in our lives. And feeling that is so healing. And so when we can begin to make the hard things, easy from our focused attention, things can begin to flow. And so things get less clunky. You can move along with life with less effort. And that's what this is about. How long can we live our lives white knuckling everything that we're trying to do? I liken flow state to the flow of water, like you're in a river and you're trying to paddle upstream. You're trying to go against the current because you're not really paying attention to what's going on. You can let go and let the current take you. And then you're just using your hands to kind of guide you to keep you in the current. That's what a flow state is about, is just kind of maneuvering yourself and moving along with it. So find that throughout your day. What is it that you can do to not fight against what you're noticing and just keep yourself in the flow of your day to day, and then time goes by quickly, and you find more effort. I'm sorry, you find more meaning inside of that. So I think that's the big thing, man. Just moving along without as much effort. And I teach this in my yoga classes too with people is, can you get in this pose without scrunching your face and letting go and just breathing? Can you get into these states with less effort? Because with less effort, when you're holding these poses, you can hold them longer, and then you can get into a more meditative state. And that's what flow does for me. Uh, it's going to boost productivity through the roof. It will reduce your stress, and it increases your strength and through your mastery and getting into creativity. Here's another mantra for you. I create to come alive. I create to come alive. Yesterday, when I did this mantra with you just off the cuff, like I'm doing now, it pulled me through very deep depressive symptoms. There's something about the act of creation for me that makes me feel like I'm not trash, that I have something to give. And man, I want to give something. I want to give my passions. This is why I coach. You know, I create plans with guys. I want to create more meaning. I want to with you. You know, I want to create a life alongside you, and to work with you and guide you along your path. And that's what I do. And so we need to talk about creation and the art of play and creativity to increase your wellness, man. This is what it is. I really feel that we need to tap into our wellness and our propensity for wellness to take care of our health. And I think a lot of times we look at it the other way, to where we think we need to get healthy in order to get well. And perhaps maybe that's the case for you. Got this noisy ass dog next door. It's driving me crazy. Ugh, but we're going to continue on. So it's the creativity we often think is just some form of luxury. You know, maybe that it's just something that kids do. But we talked about creating to help your metabolism. Creating is a metabolic requirement. It's for you to feel the energy of your life, and then to move forward in the direction of your choosing. You feel more alive and with it when you're creating. So when you're in a creative flow, you're not necessarily worried about like fixing yourself all the time. You're just bringing forward something that's deep inside within you. And it's when you can express yourself and your personality. Whether it doesn't necessarily have to be drawing. You can just create a conversation with someone. What is it that you create? What do you like to create? Leave it in the comments. What I'm going to try to create is I'm going to try to create an audience someday, but you got to stay with it, right? But again, what I'm trying to create is a greater relationship with myself and a greater trust with myself, and a trust that I want to be authentically me. For years, I've tried to, it seems like for years, I've been on YouTube before, and I try to speak from a script. You know, you can use ChatGPT for copy. You can so not be yourself in the art of content creation, in the art of creation. But again makes me think of that Picasso quote, is that good artists borrow and great artists steal. So we've been stealing a lot, but I think in that you really can lose yourself. And that's when I felt depressed a couple days ago, is I really wasn't creating something that was authentic, was authentically me, and I felt dead inside, and that's a dangerous feeling. Has anyone ever felt that before? What does creating do for you? You know, what do you like to do to create? So it's about not really fixing yourself. Okay? This is not really about fixing yourself. And when you create, you really begin to find yourself and like, there you are. There you are right there. I see where you're at. And this is how we can create meaning in our lives by the process of creation. It's so important and vital for our well-being. We can create happiness. Happiness is not something that you can just arrive at, or that's just something that's inherent to your genes. It's something that you practice. It's something that you can create in your life with a practice. It's a choice, really. And you can have happiness now. It's not like you have to wait until you hit the lottery. It's not until you have to wait till you have the perfect body. The thing is, when it comes to happiness and what I'm learning, I thought that I was never a happy person because I grew up in a very, I grew up, it was very unhappy. Let's just say there was a lot of things that I felt that I did wrong. Growing up with a dad that was very, very bitter, very resentful, very scared and very protective. And, that was just his way. So there wasn't really a lot of beauty. When growing up, I swear to God, I was surrounded by dumbasses. Everyone's an idiot. And that just brings a lot of ugliness and that pessimism and that negativity. That's too much of it. You don't really understand that you don't really understand. Yeah, I kind of lost myself, but of creating happiness. You don't even understand happiness. And you don't think you deserve it because of mistakes you've made, times I've screwed up. You don't feel like you deserve it. So maybe I need to attain something great in order to deserve happiness as a reward. So it's just something I've been thinking about a lot of times. Just, it's not a reward. It's just a practice of attaining happiness now. It's a choice. I choose to put a smile on my face. I am choosing to uplift others. I choose to look at the positive and bright sides and the good sides of people, and that we're all children of God. We're all children of nature, all children of the universe, all of us, and treat people that way. That's what I'm working on. And I can get through my day with more energy. When you think about it, when you're happy, what's your energy levels like? Put it in the comments. What do you feel and notice in your body when you're happy? And for so many years, I think I had to punish myself in order to deserve happiness, if that makes sense. Does that make sense with you? To where you feel like I'm so harsh on myself in order to humble myself enough to deserve something like happiness? It's weird. And it's a cycle I want to break. The thing is, you need to practice being happy in order to achieve happiness or achieve the life that you want. It's not achieve the life you want and then be happy. It's be happy now and then get the life that you want. It's the life you deserve because you have happiness. So it is something that I am working to create more happiness in my life. And when I'm creating, I'm happier. When I'm here, even though no one's watching, maybe a couple of you, I'm happy. And I want to continue to do that in just moment by moment. So remember the mantra, I create to come alive. And when you create, you have agency over your life. Think about that. When you create, you are in charge of the life that you want to have. It's not dictated by society out there that is numbing you with the scrolling and numbing you with the distractions and numbing you with the pleasures and tranquilizing all of your fears and your worries. Take this drug, eat this food, watch this content. It's being fed to you. And because we're so tired, we take that in and we find ourselves consuming more than we are creating. And we're going to talk more about that. The agency that you're going to create is going to come through your action. And this is why I coach. You and I are going to create more agency. Let's work on it. Hey, comment. Have you invested in a coach yet? We are going to save time and energy getting you where you want to be. Okay? We're just going to do it. And we're going to get outside. And here's our mantra for this one, okay? When I step outside, life steps towards me. When I step outside, life steps towards me. And for me, what that meaning is, I was listening to Rick Rubin yesterday, and brilliant, by the way. Love listening to him. He is really open to the possibilities of the universe speaking to you, your day-to-day life. Synchronicities is what Carl Jung coined, the term that Carl Jung coined. And I've been thinking a lot about that, is that the more that you're aware of each moment that you're living, the more that you can relax and just really enjoy and notice the things around you. You begin to notice things that happen inside of your life that really match something that you've been thinking about. Have you ever had that happen before? Have you ever had a synchronicity happening, or something that happens that just, it's like being struck from, lack of a better term, God, or it's like, it's just this infinite possibility happening for you that you can't deny. And so what Rick is talking about is needing to get outside to notice life happening for you. The issue is that what you're doing, a lot of us are doing, is we stay inside of these four walls here, and we turn on the TV, and our attention is glued on the TV or whatever we're eating, and we get caught in this trance, and we don't notice anything else or everything else happening around us. The kids could be yelling, or the neighbor could be making some noise. A fire alarm might be going off somewhere, or someone's car alarm. It doesn't matter. We're in the moment, paying attention to the TV, and just, I've felt this before, just sitting back and just relaxing and just absorbing the feelings of just blah. Life loses its magic that way. The only way that you can feel any sort of magic is whatever Netflix or whatever program you're watching spoon feeds you. You don't make it happen for yourself. So your imagination takes a back seat. The content takes care of the imagining for you. And then we get lazy. And then we don't practice our imagination. We lose our sense of awe. We lose our sense of wonder. Have you felt that before? But when we can get outside and get into nature and really realize the beauty in each moment, the trees, the smells, the sound of the rushing water, birds flying throughout the air, the color of the sky, the sound of the ground underneath your feet, the breath you're breathing in the trees, you're exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. And nature brings forth these signs that you're on the right path. And for me, it's paying attention to those synchronicities. So when you notice the synchronicities happening with your thoughts, that you might be a big problem that you're working on, the answer is out there for you. And the more you notice it, the quicker these synchronicities come, and the more robustly they come, the volume of them just multiplies. And that's the magic. That's the fun. Is you can begin to then ask what you want. Ask to be guided. Ask to look for a sign. And then pay attention. Listen. You might overhear somebody else's conversation at a restaurant or a coffee shop that exactly pertains to what you've been thinking about. Pay attention to that. That is not nothing. That's not a coincidence. This is when we get into creativity, into play, into flow state. This is when you're allowing synchronicities to come, and you're noticing the magic of your everyday life. So just getting outside, not to mention you're going to be getting exercise and fresh air. You're opening up a world of opportunities for you to help guide you along your way. So this is what's so important about getting outside, for not just your health, your physical health, but your mental well-being, your emotional fitness. So when you step outside, you're participating in life, and life will give back to you if we're paying attention. So for me, just to share this story, again, this is another story I had when I'll share it again with going to my brother Todd's birthday party. We went camping. And sitting around the campfire, and we're all just telling stories like all night long. It's just one of those moments. You ever had those moments when you're in the moment talking with your friends and you're catching up, and everyone's just sharing stories and giving, around the fire. And just the outside of breathing in the mountain air here in Idaho was amazing. It was the week after, or I just had a few days left of working a corporate coaching job, and I'm stepping full-time entrepreneur, and I'm just feeling the appreciation from everybody, and appreciating our conversations. I'm appreciating the beauty of the nature that's surrounding me. The sun's starting to come up, and there's this stillness in the air that I'm really noticing. I'm just feeling, it gives me goosebumps now, just feeling the gratitude and that stillness. Have you felt that when you're outside? It's just this sense of contentment, and you could feel everything kind of opening up in my chest. There's no tension. When you're happy, and you have this permagrin on your face, a smile in your heart. I was feeling that. And then it was right as the sun was beginning to come up, before the sun comes up, it flashes pink across the sky, right? Have you seen that before, to where the clouds kind of turn pink? And our campsite was near this body of water. It was a small reservoir, and it had old dead stumps sticking out of it, and there was steam rising off the reservoir, and the mist was coming through the trees of all these evergreens. And off in the distance were these rolling hills, and the sky was coming alive again. And I decided to step away from the fire and everybody, just to kind of stretch my legs and stand by the water, looking out over the water, and noticing the sky turn this brilliant pink, and this light. Of course, the light blue is just starting to come out because the sun's coming up for the first time. And right then, I'm standing next to this giant tree, and this giant bald eagle flies out right in front of me. I mean, giant. It's like a 6-foot wingspan. Flies in front of me and just glides out over and starts flying out over the water and off in the direction of the sunrise. I don't know if I was saying sunset, but this was a sunrise. My mouth was just wide open. To me, that was a huge synchronicity, because I could count on one hand how many times I've ever seen a bald eagle. The bald eagle is that symbol of sovereignty, obviously freedom. But in that moment, it split from being like a symbol of America, and it became my spirit guide at that moment. And like a Native American would look at a bald eagle. And so that has a major significance about reclaiming your power. This is a bird that flies the highest in the sky. And the fact that he was flying towards a sunrise was me reclaiming my sovereignty with the career that I know I'm meant to do, in guiding men towards their sovereignty, towards a life that they desire. I am motivated as hell to continue moving that direction, and anyone who hitches their wagons with me are going to get to where they want to get to. And that's when I saw that eagle flying off into the sunrise, to the dawn of a new day. That was a huge synchronicity for me that I'm always going to remember. And if I wasn't paying attention, I thought, oh, just a bird flying out of the tree. No, it wasn't just a bird. This was a bald eagle. That has a major significant meaning. So animals, nature, bring these totems to us that you notice. And so if anything is out of the ordinary, or something that's special to you, that's like kind of the beauty of the internet, look up the meaning of what that is. And if I wasn't outside, and if I wasn't up at that time, feeling the feelings I felt, I wouldn't have noticed it. But my awareness was acute at that moment when I noticed that happen in front of me. That's what I'm talking about. That's a synchronicity. And that's the magic, knowing that I'm on the right path. And it gives me this feeling of being on the right path. It gives me the feeling that I'm supported, by something bigger than myself. I want that to happen for you, and I want to know about it. Leave me in the comment. When have you had a synchronicity happen recently? A weird coincidence. It's really not a coincidence. The more you're aware of these things happening to you, they're really happening for you. And when you realize that happens all the time, you begin to change your thoughts, to start asking for the signs. How many times have you ever felt lost, confused, stuck? This happens to me all the time. I'm coming out of that when I begin to trust my environment and trust that everything I need for guidance is out there if I pay attention. Next mantra, I am creating more and consuming less. I am creating more and I'm consuming less. So, as we know, society is driven. This society that we have, it has a for-profit food system, a for-profit healthcare system. So it makes money when people consume more. It makes money when people are sicker. And that's effed up. But that's just what we live in. And it's a fight to avoid consuming so much more. Obesity is out of control. And this is why I work with men to help lose weight. And it's not just physical weight, it's the emotional weight that we carry of trying to hold it all together. But we live in a society where it's driving you to consume, and you felt that before. And the thing is that we take in so much, it really affects our chemistry and how we feel about ourselves, which that emotional weight turns into physical weight. And we keep consuming. Learning to let go is the process of creation. When we create an avenue to offload shit, to offload the things that we're thinking about. So it's when you create, you are creating a pipeline to let go of the old and to bring in the new. So this is a culture that's really addicted to the consumption of things. And this is what leads to the obesity epidemic. We're learning to let go and trusting that what we need is all around us. We can consume a little less. And so instead of focusing on, but we want to change our focus, not instead of just consuming less, it's just creating more. And if we just focus on creating more, you'll automatically consume less without trying. Okay, so add in the creation, you'll consume less naturally. It's, as we know, these phones, man, you can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll your life away. And the thing is, you learn a behavior of just swiping. Not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. We're on our phones for up to 3 to 5 hours a day. And so what are we in the habit of? Scrolling, not paying attention, going to the next, consuming, dopamine hit, and then we get fried. And when we get fried, we feel dead inside. And the scrolling is, Christ, I see something like, there's addiction counseling for drugs and alcohol and eating and sex and all these things. There's got to be one for scrolling here somewhere, right? Scrolling is an addiction. The thing is, it becomes, again, a learned behavior where we're scrolling through our life. Something happens to you that, like, again, talking about the synchronicities, next, not good enough. Where's the bigger hook? Where's the call to action? Oh, that's a whole other thing. So when you're really focused on the art and you really work on creating, that's an act of defiance and flying in the face of what society wants you to do. Bullshit. Reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your agency, and start creating. That is civil disobedience. That's what Thoreau is talking about. That is a civil way to disobey this system that's set up to have you consume, to make you sick, to have you reliant on a healthcare system that is going to drain you, leave you bankrupt, and then maybe give you some pills when you're out in your house and on hospice care, to where you can just die an easier death around your loved ones, perhaps. We got to start preparing for the life we want now to have the death that we deserve. Really comes down to it. I'm not going to live a life of what society dictates. I'm in charge of that. I want to see that agency happen within you. Are you tired of being misled? We're being driven off a cliff like a herd of buffalo. Stop that. Turn towards what you're scared of and just move towards that. With my help, with guidance with me and work with me, we turn towards those things that are uncomfortable and lean towards that and make comfort at them and learn to master those things. Getting into creativity, feeling a flow state, moving through that with less effort. going through the most tactical, the most detail oriented and difficult things with greater ease because we're enjoying the process. We get unstuck when we do this. So I'm tired of living my life to an algorithm. The content creation, it's all about this algorithm, and I refuse to do it. I have to play the game a little bit, and when you look at content all over YouTube, and you're all being hooked. I'm hooked, and there's going to be some basic title that's going to hook you and talk to you about something, and then you're going to get another hook, and then you're going to get another hook, and you just find yourself getting hooked because you feel like something is lacking in you. And what these hooks are that you're getting from people is they're really trying to pull at your insecurities, your fears, your pain, and they try to promise you a relief for that. And perhaps some people do. But a lot of times people are just wanting to gather your attention and to get viewers and followership so they can promote the latest and greatest shitty drink, soft drink, or diet food on their channel. Like AG1, Athletic Greens. What a crock of shit that is. It is a worthless drink. It does not provide you the nutrition it says it does, and people are making mad money over it. But hey, I'm not here to rant about the crappiness of AG1. I'm just talking to you about creating and consuming a little bit less. So focus on creating something. What do you want to make today? Consume just a little bit less in doing so. So I am creating more and consuming less. Now the last mantra I want to show you. I let beauty open and guide me. I let beauty open and guide me. This is something that's so crucial for a man's wellness, I feel. I think a lot of times women are really in tune with beauty. And that's why you see them more involved with the arts. It seems like it. There's just something about beauty that really pulls me in. It's just this excellence. It's being displayed. Have you ever seen an excellent movie, a movie that's made you cry? You ever see an opera? Like I'll be at an opera, when I was living in Bavaria, we got to go to Munich and watch an opera, La Traviata, and just there's something about the beauty of the music, and you don't realize it's beauty, but there's something that resonates within you that the tears flow. How many times have you been struck by a beautiful sunset or sunrise or something out of nature to where you're just gobsmacked? We need to be in greater touch. I want to be in greater touch with the appreciation for beauty. And that has a healing aspect to it. Where do you have beauty in your life? Where do you seek it? Where do you find it? How do you acknowledge beauty? And especially for we men, we don't have that. It's like we're almost afraid to admit it because we might feel weak if we like beautiful things. But the thing is that most of the guys here in Idaho jack up their trucks and polish them up, even though they never get them muddy because they find their truck beautiful. It's whatever you find beautiful it's just important to acknowledge that. Beauty should be a healing thing. It tunes me into the magic of life. Have you seen the Shawshank Redemption? One of my favorite movies, one of the best movies of all time. And I think it's such a profound statement of how beauty can unlock you and can melt the walls around you. There's this moment when the main character, Andy Dufresne, he's in the warden's office, and he's going through a shipment of goods that have been given to him and donated by the state to help him build a library. So he has books and pamphlets, and there's these records in there, and he's looking through these different records, and he finds one. This was I think it was the marriage of Romeo and Juliet. It's something by Mozart. Anyway, he starts playing it on the record player. It's a huge no-no. And then he thinks to put on the PA system and plays the record over the PA over the entire prison yard where he's at. And if you remember the movie, how he starts playing this music, everybody is outside when they're working. It shows different scenes in different areas where all these men stop what they're doing and just look and just notice and hear the sounds. Like, it makes me like kind of weepy now just thinking about it. That's the power. It has such power of to move you and to move you beyond these walls, beyond the prison of what you think is your mundane life. Tapping into this is your real freedom. And it's so apropos to see when in that movie that you see the warden come up and like beating on the door, like, turn that off, turn that off. It's just music. It's music that these men have not heard in years. And they have Morgan Freeman like narrate over the top of that is just a beautiful thing too. I mean, it resonates deeply within my heart and soul. Like, it's stuck in my subconscious mind. It's something I go to all the time to remember the power of beauty and how dangerous it is to the establishment. It's a dangerous thing. They don't want you focused on beauty. They want you focused on consuming and so distracted you can't slow down to notice the magic in your life, to notice the synchronicities happening and the beauty in that. And that's bullshit. I'm tired of that. They want to construct this prison around us to where make everyone think that we're, just living this gray, mundane life and we're just going to eat until we can't move anymore, maybe enjoy a year or two of retirement and then die medicated. I'm not doing that shit, and I don't want you to do it either. You don't have to do it. And how you get out of this? Art, meaning, creativity, appreciation for beauty and the excellence that comes with that. What is beautiful in your life? Practice more of that. Get outside and notice the beauty and notice the effects it has on your well-being. And take that well-being into your habits, how you eat. It changes how you eat. You don't overeat, and you definitely don't eat shit. You eat food that fuels you, that nourishes you because you see yourself as a beautiful person. You have greater agency over your health and well-being because you have a greater relationship with yourself. This is what this is about. Your relation with yourself is harsh. My relationship with myself for years was so harsh. And my physical health suffered. I was up in weight and I was down in weight. I'd loathe myself. I'd hate myself. I'm tired of that. I'm looking towards the beauty and my claim to that. I'm reclaiming beauty in my life. And when I have beauty in my life, it's easier to be happy. It's easier to practice happiness. I mean, Christ, you want to go to like a more macho man's movie and talk about the power of beauty? What about Pulp Fiction? Have you seen Pulp Fiction? Of course, we've all seen it. If this is a podcast for guys, you've definitely seen Pulp Fiction. What is it inside that briefcase that has people just like, that's beautiful. What is that? It's just glowing gold. We don't know what it is. But that last scene where Jules opens up the briefcase and Tim Roth is there with the gun and he's holding him hostage and he just is like, what is that? Oh my Jesus, that's beautiful. And like distracts him enough to knock the gun out of his hand. Tarantino knows how beauty can enchant someone and form this. It's like a trance. You can entrance people. It's magic. Beauty's all around us. Yeah. And it doesn't ask you to be perfect. Beauty is not about perfection. Beauty is just really about noticing. Now, I want to learn from you. Okay. So, here's what I'm doing. I have a free call set up. I have a link in the description. I'm offering you 30 minutes of a free coaching session to get you on your way and living the life that you want to live. It's going to help me feel like that I'm contributing towards your greatness and towards your success. I mean, let's just get real. You're stuck. You're spinning your wheels. Have you invested in a coach? Maybe you haven't. Okay. Maybe if you have, it wasn't the best of experiences for you. I will not stop until we have success. And even then, we're going to keep going. I told you I specialize on moving men by getting them unstuck, by bridging the gap in between your tire is and where the earth is. And we're going to make sure that you get traction and move towards the life that you want to live. I hop shotgun with you and I ride with you and we traverse the terrain of life together. And guess what? We're going to be going uphill. So it requires a 4-wheel drive. And it has to get technical. We're not necessarily going to be going downhill. What is there downhill? That's easy. We want to get up high. We want to get to the high country. Okay. But I need to know what moves you. I want to know what the pain is. What's getting in your way? I could guess, but until I talk to real people, and I could talk to ChatGPT all day, but it's not a human. I want to learn from you. So what I'm getting in return is your language. I'm getting your experiences. And if you want to have that exchange, click the link where it has the momentum call and let's build momentum and carry momentum towards that life you want to live. Now, I have this tool. It's a health GPS. And like a regular GPS, what it does was it lets you know exactly where you are and exactly where you need to go with great detail. This is what our GPS is doing, only instead of a global positioning system, this is a goal positioning system. This is how you position yourself with your goals and align yourself with these goals with a step-by-step process through a GPT that I've built that makes the process easy. It's fun and it's very detailed. So it's a series of a few questions. So you're taking about 5, maybe 10 minutes. That's going to take you through what your ideal looks like. What does ideal life look like? What do you look like? What do you feel like? Then we're going to get into the metabolism of things, how you take energy from your life and use that to propel yourself towards a life that you want. Finding out where your energy maybe leaks, but maybe the biggest thing is knowing how do we generate energy to move you towards what you want. Then we're going to build on an awareness piece. It builds on an awareness piece to help you become more aware of what fuels you, what drives you. Okay, it's exciting. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Your awareness is key. And then you're going to get into the goal setting, the very small goal setting. And this is to create a winning feeling inside of you, because the more that you can just set these small little goals and do this and win and win and win and you win and you win, it's going to build your confidence. You're going to get a feeling of you are a winner. Because in time, there might have been a few times in your life where you tried something big and you failed. And so when you think about doing something big again, you've learned this helplessness, like I tried something, it just doesn't work. And that feeling is a real feeling. So with the purpose of goal setting and you're going to learn with this GPS tool, it's going to help you set these small little attainable goals. That's going to help you get that winning feeling. And then the last piece is going to help you customize practices to where you can embody this goal already now. So it's not like I need to lose 20 pounds first in order to, ask for the promotion or ask that woman out. Okay, it's not like that. You're going to embody that feeling now, and then the body follows. So this GPS, this goal positioning system, is a way to give you a very specific roadmap to help you feel like you've attained it now. And it's not bullshit. This is going to help you feel that feeling now and give you a direction forward. Then we can set up a call with me again and we can go over the map and move forward from there. So the link is there at the bottom. It's also in the description. Go to the Health GPS. It's free. It's completely free. And it took me a while to build. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Starting at about 50 minutes or so. But I had fun talking to you a little bit today, getting passionate about creation. Use these mantras today. You can use any one of them or use a series of them. And that's what I want to offer to you. Go out today. Go outside. Make life your art. And I'll talk to you another time, maybe tomorrow.